think he knows. I didn't know if I was around. I was around.
We can let people through. Can I go too?
You are now live.
Hello. Had to go get an operation.
Okay.
And he had to have someone drive. Hey.
We are now live, Vanessa.
Good evening. Good evening. Today is Monday, March 1st, 2021. It is a regular session of the Board of the School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is now 6:05 p.m. The place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana 46312. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Can we please have roll call, Ms. Katz?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Present.
Trustee Smith. Present. Chairman Hernandez on.
Present. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we will move to the presentation portion of the meeting. Superintendent, right?
Yes, we have a presentation on our School City of Chicago Return to Learn plan. So Ms. Goods is going to present the presentation tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, school board trustees, Superintendent Wright, community, staff, colleagues, friends, parents, and students. I am Esther Goods, Assistant Superintendent for the School City of East Chicago. I am going to present the administration's recommendations for return to learning. This plan is a collaborative plan from all stakeholders. We received feedback from several different groups, and we took all of that into consideration when putting this plan together. I am asking that everyone please hold all questions until the end of the presentation, please. For parents and community who have questions that were not included in the one-page sheet that you received on the way in, you can put questions on this sheet of paper. And Additional questions from teachers can be sent to Helen Steinbeck, President of the Union, and from parents and community, Sylvia Alvarez will take questions. So, what does the data say? The current Lake County positivity rate has Lake County in the yellow, meaning that we have a metric score of 1, which means that we are okay to do hybrid instruction for students. Hybrid meaning partial virtual and partial traditional. We've also looked at the attendance rates for students when making this decision. Last February, as of February 26, 2020, our attendance rate in East Chicago for the district was 93.83%. As of February 26, for this year, our attendance rate is 82.33%, meaning we are down more than 10% in attendance. Now let's look at our grades. You see listed the grades for grade levels 3 through 12. In 2020, if I just look at 3rd grade alone, I had 131 Fs. In 2021, same time of the year, I have almost 9 times that, 1,173. 8th grade, I had 642 Fs. This year, last time, I have 2,010 now. And in 11th grade, 862 Fs. Last year, this time, 2,592 right now. Almost 3 times the amount. Our seniors, I had 757 Fs. I now have 1,363. So 1.5 times. So based on that data, what is our recommendation? The school district is recommending option A. So you heard 3 options from Ms. Wright at the last meeting to discuss return to learning. And option A is a phased-in approach. Which includes, it would begin March 8th and run to March 26th, which is right before spring break. Students would attend school in cohorts. Cohort A will attend on Monday and Tuesday. Cohort B will attend on Thursday and Friday. Wednesday will be a virtual day for all students. Custodial and maintenance will deep clean on Wednesday. High school will remain virtual through spring break. So spring break ends April 5th. At that point, all traditional face-to-face students will attend Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday will continue to be a virtual day for all students. So what does that look like at the preschool level? The school day is from 9 to 2. The preschool will develop cohorts, cohort A and B, based on teacher placement and student needs. Of course, the group will come on Monday and Tuesday, and their virtual day would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Another group would come on Thursday and Friday, and their virtual days will be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Teachers will notify each student's parent of the student's assignment in cohort A or cohort B. What does that look like in elementary school? The school day is from 8 to 2:30. Cohort groups are arranged in grades, cohort A, grades K, 2, 4, and 6. Those days of face-to-face attendance would be Monday and Tuesday. The virtual days for that group would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Group B, grades 1, 3, and 5. The days of face-to-face attendance are Thursday and Friday, and the virtual attendance is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Why did we break them up? Because we want to cut down on congestion and make sure our traffic flow is working really well in the buildings. What does that look like in middle school? The school day is from 8:30 to 3:30. Teams 71 and 72 will comprise Group A. That is all of our 7th grade students. Their face-to-face days are Monday and Tuesday, and their virtual days are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Teams 81 and 82 comprise the 8th grade students. Their days for face-to-face are Thursday and Friday, and their virtual days are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If administration would like to do something with all 7th graders at a time, they have them there at one time. If they need to do something with all 8th graders at a time, teachers or admin, they have all of the students there at a time to deliver the same information, one message. Okay, so high school. The high school day is from 7:30 to 2:30. Again, high school will remain virtual until April 5th, 2021, except the following groups. These groups will begin on March 8th. The special education applied skills students, they will attend face-to-face Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with the virtual day of Wednesday. And our CTE students will attend Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, beginning March 8th, with the virtual day of Wednesday. Why are we bringing those groups in first? They are in most need right now. Special populations. Our special education students will follow along the same as their gen ed counterparts for face-to-face attendance as well as virtual, with the exception again of my applied skills group. Those students only will begin March 8th, and they will attend Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday with the virtual day of Wednesday. Our English language learners will follow along with their gen ed counterparts as well. We will continue to provide transportation for our homeless and foster care students. So what have we done to mitigate COVID? Begin with cleaning and sanitizing. PPE, personal protective equipment, will be provided as necessary. Gloves, masks, Lysol shields. New HVAC filters are being installed at each school. There's a bathroom checklist posted on bathroom doors for cleaning accountability. We will continue to wash walls, door handles, and other high traffic areas. We are working to minimize touch surfaces at all times. Desk shields and face shields are also available. Signage. Signs are posted inside and outside of buildings. Signs are there to indicate traffic flow, to give us reminders to mask up, wash hands, and social distance. The elementary schools will show colored dots in designated areas for students. There are signs at the entrance doors. There will also be markings outside on the concrete to show students where to stand. Yellow dots, small yellow dots, will be used to indicate temperature has been checked for students. Transportation. Buses will be sanitized before and after each bus route. Temperatures will be checked at bus stops. Students will be given a small yellow dot to be placed visibly on the outermost layer of clothing. Masks will be given to students who don't display masks at the bus stop. Members of the same family can sit together on the bus. Students will social distance. Ill elementary students will either be sent home on another bus or transported to school to see the nurse with parents and school notification. Ill middle school and high school students will, in most cases, be sent back home with parent and school notification. Nursing and medical. Nurses will follow the School City of East Chicago protocols and guidelines that were designed in conjunction with the EC Health Department. There is a designated COVID room in each building. Nurses will assess and send students home if necessary. Nurses will administer the rapid Binax test. So we now have rapid Binax testing that nurses will be able to administer to students and staff with parent permission. That the nurse will do that. Ill students will be escorted to the nurse's office for further evaluation, and ill staff will report to the nurse's office for further evaluation. Entry. Temperatures will be checked of students without yellow dots upon entry into the building. Elementary students will enter the buildings and will be guided to a common area. Elementary teachers will meet the students in the common area and escort them to their classrooms. Middle school and high school students will enter the buildings and report to the designated breakfast area before proceeding to class. Buildings will have staggered locker schedules for securing personal belongings. Breaks. So as with anything, and all of us know that we need breaks for wearing those masks. So each building will have a mask break schedule. Students will receive a morning break. Students will receive an afternoon break. Teachers may choose to take their students outside for their breaks. Restrooms. Each building will have a restroom schedule. Each elementary class will be scheduled to use the restroom in the morning and in the afternoon. Meals. Elementary students will eat breakfast and lunch in the classrooms. Meals will be delivered by Sodexo to each elementary classroom. Paraprofessionals will be scheduled to assist with meal coverage. Middle school and high school students will eat breakfast and lunch in designated areas of the building, be it the cafeteria, cafe, wherever. Exit and dismissal time. Exit times will be staggered based on the method of transportation. Walkers, car riders, and bus riders. Principals are creating staggered locker schedules for classes to address retrieval of book bags and belongings and outerwear. So class coverage. Class coverage is going to take place in 3 levels. Level 1, if there is space, students will be divided amongst the absent teacher's colleagues within the grade level in order to continue instruction. Level 2, each building has a designated staff coverage team. And level 3, once the building team is exhausted, the principal will reach out to myself, Ms. Goods, to activate the district team. And we have a designated team of certified individuals who will go over to those buildings. Technology. So at the pre-K and K-2 level, iPads have been assigned to all students who need them. Are they going to carry their device to school daily? Yes. At the grades 3 through 6 level, Chromebooks are available at school and at home. So will they have to carry their device to school daily? No. At grades 7 and 8, the middle school level, Chromebooks are available at school and at home, and they also will not carry devices to school daily. Grades 9 through 12, Chromebooks have been issued to students, and they will carry their devices back and forth to school daily. Ill staff. If staff feel ill before they leave home, they should alert their supervisor and report the absence in ASOP. Teachers should post sub plans for students. Staff who become ill at work should alert administration for class coverage and report to the nurse's office. Staff who reside in a household with someone COVID positive, and it's documented, should alert their immediate supervisor and await direction from our HR director while in quarantine. Staff who are identified as a close contact should consult the flow chart posted on the School City of East Chicago website. Mode of instruction. Parents made a choice in the fall. We are going to honor those choices. Students will adhere to the choice made in the fall. Traditional students will remain traditional. Virtual students will remain virtual. Traditional students in grades K to 8 will return March 8th. High school students will return April 5th, with the exception being the CTE and applied skills students who will return March 8th. Teachers will notify virtual parents of additional traditional classroom space the week of March 15th. Parents who wish to change placement at that time will be given an opportunity once the initial traditional placements have been honored. Staff will reach out to them. All changes will be made the week of March 15th. The revised modes of instruction then will begin the week of March 22nd if your child is changing from virtual to face-to-face. So we miss you. Wash your hands and sanitize, social distance and stay 6 feet apart, mask up. We are all in this together. We have a video we would like to show you outlining what we've done to mitigate COVID and how much we miss you.
Oh.
Jeremy, we can't hear the sound. We'll probably have to start from the beginning.
Jeremy, we're not hearing you now. Jeremy, we're not hearing the sound on the video. So the video. We're not hearing it over here. The sound. He says that we're only hearing, he can only hear it in there, but we can't put it on through here unless
Maybe if you put
a
the
laptop.
mic-
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
put the mic-
I'll put a mic over there, that's
mic
good.
there.
Okay.
Who's got one?
You started over.
Just good.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't realize.
He needs to be.
Uh,
He needs to be. We have several mitigation. Mitigation policy. It's taken to Will they come from here?
Hello, Cardinals. This is Deetta Wright, the superintendent of the great school city of East Chicago. Students and staff, We have been working very diligently to get you all back into the schools. We have several mitigating strategies. For example, students will be required to have their temperatures checked before they get on the bus. Students will be required to use sanitation pumps as they enter into the buildings. Students will not be allowed to congregate. Students will go directly into their classes where they are assigned in pods. In addition, we have several other strategies. We want you all back in school. We miss you guys. We miss the teachers and the students. So please continue. Wash your hands, practice social distancing, and wear your mask. We want you back. We missed you guys.
The teachers are excited to welcome our students back, and we will have all of our safety precautions in place and look forward to having students back in school.
Custodians and maintenance staffs are working hard to keep our schools clean and sanitized. We installed hand sanitizer pumps throughout all the buildings and made sure all the teachers and staff had the correct PPE, masks, gloves, disinfectant wipes, and Lysol. The school has purchased air filters for every building's HVAC unit in the district. The custodial staff has a bathroom checklist that they have to complete every hour or as the children have their restroom breaks. In addition to making sure the bathrooms are getting cleaned and sanitized between uses, they're also wiping down door handles and walls in high traffic areas. The school has also purchased ionized sprayers so they can spray throughout each building.
Parents, please remember to check students before you take them out to the bus stops. Ill students will be returned back home after parents are contacted. Buses will be sanitized before and after each route. They will also be sanitized each evening after daily use.
Faculty, staff, and students, if you're feeling ill, please stay home, call us, and let us know of your status.
At each school, we have a COVID room, should that be necessary, to quarantine students or staff until they leave the building.
We must remember to stay 6 feet apart and social distance. The CDC recommends to social distance to mitigate the spread.
Precautions will be taken during breakfast and lunch. Elementary students will be eating in their classrooms. Secondary students will eat in the cafeterias and other eating areas.
We need to remember to wash and sanitize our hands regularly. Hand washing helps prevent the spread of flu, cold, and virus.
We must remember to monitor our workspaces, alerting appropriate staff of areas used in need of cleaning and sanitizing.
The instructional coaches, principals, teachers, staff, and myself have been working hard on curriculum maps and instructional strategies to support all students upon return to our buildings.
Please remember to wear your masks. Wearing your masks helps stop the spread of the coronavirus.
And so, Cardinal families, we are here to tell you that we have taken every precaution to make sure that our students and staff are safe, healthy, and ready to learn.
Cardinal community, you have just heard some of the steps that the school city of East Chicago has taken in order to make our environment safe and to mitigate the COVID-19 virus. We have received feedback from the community, teachers and staff, students, parents, and families. This feedback was used in order to put our protocols and processes in place for making our schools safe. We miss you, Cardinals. We can't wait for you to come back. We welcome you with open arms.
And that concludes the presentation.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you, Ms. Goods. You're welcome.
Good job. Good job.
Oh, one more thing. Let me just let you know that we have one-pagers giving you a quick guide to who should return when, what we've done to mitigate, and the what-if questions. And then we also had parent concerns early on, so we addressed their questions on a different one page. These will also be linked on the website.
I don't know if we want to, as a board, ask questions now. I know it's on here as return to learn plan. If you guys would like to wait and ask any questions then, or if you guys like to ask now. Okay, let's wait till later. Next, we'll move to the business portion of the meeting. Prior to the business portion, I do ask that we add a resolution that we've been discussing amongst the board, resolution 10005. If we can have a motion to have that on the agenda so we can discuss.
Madam President, I make a motion to add
Resolution 10005.
resolution 005.
10005. I'm sorry, 1005. 1005. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
what resolution are you referring to?
It was a resolution that was sent to us from we've had several discussions via email in regards to the resolution. But let me bring it up. Attorney Harris. You know exactly. Yes. I know we've had it sent to us. So on your emails on the February 25th, you received,
Originally it was sent February 16th.
so we've been in discussion about this resolution, even as late as 4:30.
The conversations have been based around two separate resolutions, not one.
Trustees, actually based off of one resolution, and it's regarding us. I'm asking to put that one on the table so that we can have discussion to see if we need to change any of the amendments or have any amendments done to that resolution. Today, I did send you guys two separate resolutions because there was one that was sent previously by myself, one sent previously by the superintendent, to show how we came up with this resolution that we have before us. So my ask, or I would like to have this actually discussed. If we need to make amendments and changes, at least we hear everyone on the board, make changes if needed, and then we send it down to the state. Because again, this is all time sensitive.
There are still two separate resolutions. You're only asking for one to be added.
Correct, because, okay,
Well, there's only one that's been drafted in this district.
to discuss. Would you like me to adjust exactly?
I'm not going to pull up the email, but I'm pretty certain the email indicated that we were going to present both of those this evening.
No, I just did that solely so you could see where this kind of discussion came from. And I said that we had since we had a discussion in regards to the resolution.
In its current form, I'm not in favor of the resolution that's being brought forth right now. So you can address it, and I'm going to ask for an amendment to that resolution.
So then this motion is on the table, and when we get to it, we can discuss.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
No.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Now we move to the business portion of the meeting. Item number one, approval of minutes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee?
I'd like to know the other minutes are going to be available.
I just had a conversation with Ms. Cass earlier today, and she stated to me that the reasonings why they're not available as of yet is because they have been out of the school district. And she said that she will start to bring in all the other minutes. I think we just continue to ask that question, Trustee Gomez. And I do thank you for bringing that up to even have that discussion.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned at the last meeting, we're at least probably going into about 10 or 11 months behind on approval of minutes. A lot of catching up to do.
And I do think that, seeing as we could make sure to ask our superintendent to make sure that gets done. And we move forward that way, if that's okay with you.
We got to get them done.
Okay. Any other questions? Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number two, approval of distribution of payroll. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll second it.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number three, approval of claim dockets. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I make the motion for approval of claim dockets.
Trustee Smith makes the motion for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
Page 4. Check number 107844. What is that for? So, whoever put this on the agenda, whoever can answer it. For what? Do we have, this is December and January, 2 months? Can we have a breakdown of what those legal services are? Thank you. Thank you. You can send them to the entire board. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
the one that follows, 107845. The current meeting chair. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Item number four, approval of personnel reports. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. What is the pleasure of the board? I'm sorry, any questions? Sorry. Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number five, approval of return to learn plan. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
two questions that I think were left out of the presentation. I just want to be clear. What happens on snow days?
Right now, we don't have any snow days. We have e-learning, so there's really no reason to have a snow day because the kids have been working virtually. And if we have inclement weather, then the kids can continue to work virtually.
And there was no mention of contact tracing. Is that, how's that contact tracing?
Yes, we're going to conduct contact tracing according to CDC guidelines. If the students were not less than 15, if the students were not less than 6 feet apart, or they did not have masks, then we will do contact tracing. So contact tracing will take place according to the CDC guidelines. We're going to follow those.
Trustee Gomez, just from previous, when we discussed the first return to learn plan, Nurse Bobo is actually the individual that is in charge of the contact tracing. So if any buildings, if there's any COVID-related issues, they contact Ms. Bobo, and then Ms. Bobo disseminates the information to the schools superintendent, as well as we give that information to our health department. So that's where the hub is, Ms. Bobo.
I guess I do have another question. The board was presented with a recommendation a few weeks ago, Superintendent. What has changed in the last 2 weeks or since that meeting?
What has changed is the positivity rates have dropped even further.
Other than that, anything else?
Pardon me?
Other than that?
No.
Has anything else changed?
No.
Everything's the same?
Yes.
You have the same amount of wipes, filters, hand sanitizers?
We even have more.
So in effect, nothing's changed?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems to me that we've lost some time here, so I'd like to move on this quickly.
Are there any other questions? I have a couple. Just out of curiosity, do we have any community questions? Did someone from the community members reach out and ask questions by chance to Ms. Alvarez?
We did have community members reach out to Ms. Alvarez, and we compiled those questions and put answers on the one pager, and it'll also be posted on the website.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're completely transparent with community and that we have ways that, they're able to contact the schools and vice versa. At this point, it's very hard to have community meetings because everything is on a restricted level. So I know we had to try to find a way. I received all the wonderful phone calls from Ms. Alvarez. So I just wanted to make sure that we did have some type of community questions that we're addressing them.
Yes.
Perfect. I know we keep discussing the 6 feet apart on all of our information, as well as in the classrooms. My question is, we're doing 3 feet apart, right? Not 6 feet apart. I know CDC states we can, but that's what we're following, correct?
We're doing 6 feet apart.
Inside the classrooms?
Yes.
So did we take out the desk or?
No, we've always done 6 feet.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. How are we avoiding the traffic in the hallways from class to class movement? And I don't know how it is in junior high, they move class to class, but that's the case.
So the junior high students have not been moving except for their elective courses. So we are there's a schedule, and the principal and the assistant principal are monitoring the hallway flow. I have been over in those buildings when they were reporting from class to class, and the congestion is very minimal. elementary school, that's why we broke it up into the grade bands reporting on certain days, just so that we could monitor the congestion at first. So that leaves us with different grade bands in different pods, and we'll be able to better adjust for the traffic flow.
I just want to make a comment in regards to surveys. I know we have surveys going out to parents, and it might be just certain, but just a tidbit. I know parents have asked me and said they're Google Docs, so I have to sign into my Google account in order to do the surveys. So they say that if they want to remain anonymous, they can't, because you have to sign into your Google account, which is true. I know SurveyMonkey is something that's anonymous. Just a thought to put out there when we're surveying parents and teachers and so forth, because we do want their honest opinion. Next thing, are we going to have the crossing guards?
Yes, so I reached out to crossing guard supervisor, and likely this is going to occur. I was told to contact them immediately once a decision is made, and they're pretty sure that we have crossing guards because the charter schools are already using crossing guards, so they said yes.
So I know charter schools crossing guards are only used in their area. Our crossing guards are used 2 blocks past school. So, my other question is, who is part of the designated staff coverage? I know my question from the last meeting was, who can be part of coverage? And I think I asked for our attorney and Mr. Doctor to find out if it was okay if our paraprofessionals stayed in the building, if our non-certified staff stayed in the building. I don't know if that got accomplished. And then after that, who is our certified staff?
So each principal was asked to designate the staff in their buildings who may not directly work with students each period or all of the entire day. So they are all certified staff members that have been listed. Each building has a team of at least 5 members on it. It may be the social worker, it may be the counselor, the principal is part of that team, the assistant principal is part of that team. They are all certified staff or staff that can be certified. So someone with the substitute teacher's license, so if it's a paraprofessional with the substitute teacher's license, they're part of that team. And then from central office, you have myself, Mr. Doctor, Ms. Poe, Ms. Gutierrez, Ms. Mitchell. We're all certified teachers.
So do we know in total how many individuals that are able to go in a school building?
So no less than 10 if we're including central office staff. So it's 5 at the building level, and that's the very smallest group, 5. And then we have at least 5 here in central office.
So if we have a call off of, let's say 20, there's no subs.
So first we're gonna go to level 1. So if in 4th grade, I have a teacher out, a teacher who's absent, and they may have, say, 10 face-to-face students, then depending on how many students are in another teacher's classroom, we're gonna divide them up based on the 6 feet of social distancing. After that, then we're going to use our staff, our auxiliary staff in the buildings who don't have a class directly assigned to them. And then after that, we'll bring in central office staff, and we have teachers' licenses. So we will have.
So my question is, how many available people do we have to go into classrooms?
No less than 10 per building. So if I have a deficit in a building, in one building, but I may not have a deficit in another, I may have to borrow an assistant principal or an auxiliary staff member from another building.
So that in the district, if I have 28 teachers who ended up not showing up, and I have, we can't push them into other classrooms because we're all full. Will my school be covered?
Yes.
So we have we have 28.
Because I'm
people
gonna
who are
pull,
certified.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we have 28 people from the whole entire district that could cover those classes.
Yes, because if that's in one building, right?
I'm sorry?
In one building, correct?
In one building.
Yes, because I'll pull 5 from the other building.
All I need to do.
So I'm just gonna jump in and say the likelihood of having 28 teachers absent from one building is pretty unlikely. Most buildings do not have 28 teachers except for Central. So we have worked hard on this plan. I think that we have turned over every rock imaginable. I'm optimistic when I say we have it covered.
My last question to you is, again, we discussed the first day plan, and I know we're trying to reach out to students, and I know we probably won't reach out to all of them. I know parents are frustrated. They probably want all their students in class. The plan for that cluster of kids who or children who show up on day one of the back. So what are we doing with that? So for instance, like I know when we went back, because we went back in October, and one of the issues that happened when we went back in October, we were one of the first schools to actually go back, right? So when we went back, we had a cluster that came in that we didn't know, if they were supposed to be, they didn't know if they were in person or not, and they didn't know. So there's gonna be that comes in, parents are gonna say, I want you guys in class, like go, right? So what are we gonna do with that cluster that suddenly comes in? Where are we gonna put them? If we have this A and B schedule, how are we sending them home? Like what's gonna happen to them?
We're gonna use our staff that Ms. Goods just mentioned to cover those classes. But the teachers will be coming in 3 days early, and they're gonna be making personal phone calls to those parents to inform them that their child is either virtual or traditional. For those few that may just come anyway, we have the staff, and we'll make those kids, we'll provide some space for those kids to go.
Okay, that's all for me. Any other questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
As I mentioned earlier, to me, I feel like we should have done this the last time this in front of the board, but regardless of who we are today, I just want to know beyond this, what is our plan to get these kids back into the place they should be? I saw Crown Point and other school districts are already planning to catch these kids up. What's our plan beyond today?
Our plan beyond today is after spring break, we're going to offer after school tutoring for our kids, the ones that are traditional. I talked with the union today. I chimed in on their executive session. They allowed me. We discussed summer school, extending it out maybe 6 or 7 weeks. In the fall, we're going to have Saturday school. So we're going to be very aggressive in making sure that our kids catch up, because they would have been out of school one year next Friday. So we're going to be extremely aggressive in making sure that we provide every opportunity for our kids to catch up on the learning loss. So after school tutoring, summer school, Saturday school, those just to name a few.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I have one more question. If we go back, by approving this plan and then we go in April with everyone being back, if our numbers go up, it's just a fluid plan. We'll have to come back and discuss it.
Absolutely. That was one of the questions. I think it's on that Q&A. So we're going to follow the Indiana State Health Department guidelines, just like we did in the past. If the positivity rate is above 14%, we go back to virtual. And if it stays where it is now, we're going to remain with the hybrid model, at least until everyone can get vaccinated. But we're going to follow the Indiana Health Department guidelines.
Any more questions? Ms. Cash, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Next, approval of the SCEC 2021-2022 school calendar, Superintendent.
Yes, so the union and I and my team, we met for about 3 hours total. And we collaborated with the plan and benefits teachers, students, staff. So I'm recommending that the board approves the 21-22 calendar.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Any questions?
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Just one question. I noticed that what I have in my attachment is a 2020-2021 calendar school year. Is that an error? Or is
It says
2020. This year.
Dr. Green was on the committee, so. Is it? Is
The
there?
one that's on the one that's in the docket is completely different than the hard copy of this that Mrs. Green just gave out. So ours states 2020 to 2021 school calendar, not 2021 to 2022.
Yeah.
You all want me to discuss what's on the calendar?
No, I'm sure it's pretty much the same, but the dates are off. So I guess with us approving it, it will only be on the contingents of we have the correct document.
I'll send it to you tonight.
Or we could also just,
Yeah.
You might want to get a hard
Do it
copy.
next week.
It's totally different than what's on the.
Okay. Yes.
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez.
With each calendar school year, this was actually agreed upon by the teachers as well.
Yes. Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. This, we collaborated with the teachers union. Calendars are discussable items with the union, but we feel as though it's best that we collaborate with them so they can have buy-in into the calendar. They may want a particular day or format as opposed to me. And so we collaborate with that, but that is a discussable item with the union, but we made sure that they had as much input as my district team did.
Any other questions?
Madam President, I'm not comfortable voting on this without seeing the calendar, so just want to go on the record that I'm going to vote no on this one.
I agree with you, and I think, and I just looked at the calendar. It seems that the days are actually correct, but it does state that it's 2020 and 2021. So, in other words, if you
Could we just remove this from the item right now? We can come back and address this later. It's not anything we need to pass tonight.
so we need to just add to the next meeting?
Sure.
Yeah, we could say that. Yes.
Yes, Trustee Rodriguez did, so you have to remove your motions. And then we could just, Trustee Rodriguez removes his motion. And then we just move forward, correct? Yeah, that, Ms. Katz? Good, okay. We'll go to item number 7, approval of resolution 2021-03, joint resolution between SUEC AFT Local 511. Oh, this. Yes, because I did not know that this got added on.
The next item is Title I grant.
Yes.
This one was printed out.
Yeah, that's.
And this is what
this
everyone
is
else
the
is
agenda
viewing.
that's in public. Yeah, so.
So you are correct, that was added, that was on there originally, then it was taken off. And it was printed out wrong. So I will just move to the next motion, which is approval of the Title I grant.
Yes, I'm asking for approval of the school improvement block middle school grant.
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
we have a little more detail on this grant.
Yes, the school improvement grant, the state of Indiana has awarded Block Middle School a school improvement grant because Block Middle School is a targeted school, which means that the last time we took the iLearn test, we scored in the bottom 5% in the state. So they have offered us initially the grant was $200,000 that they gave us in December, but they gave us additional funds as of February to use to improve the school, to put in place different programs to improve the student academic achievement of all students in Block Middle School. And it's only because it's a targeted school, which means that it's scored in the bottom 5% of the state.
So how do we measure improvement there?
We will measure improvement there by our iReady scores. We will measure improvement by the iLearn whenever we take the iLearn test. But pretty much quarterly data from iReady and district assessments and the iLearn test.
Any other questions? Oh,
and this grant is 2023, I believe it is. I believe it's a 2-year grant. Also, all expenditures have to be expended by 2023.
So are the expenditures something that's coming back to the board?
Yes.
We're approving the grant.
Yes.
We're not approving the distribution of the money.
Right. They will be on the claim documents. Yes. All expenditures from any grant will be coming on the claim document.
So this is saying that the final claim for reimbursement will be no later than 12/15/21. Is that like it's like a disbursement? It's not one lump sum. It's just when grades approved or what?
No, we have that money now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But I did see that.
Yes. Yes, we have the money now. We just have to make sure that we spend that money according to the guidelines set forth in Title I.
Okay.
Yes. But everything that we spend the money on will be placed on the claim docket for you all approval. And I'll explain it to you all when it comes through.
Any other questions?
Just one question. So in this title grant particularly, how many projects are embedded into this title grant?
How many projects? Wow.
Obviously, there has to be programs and projects in place.
Quite a few. I can get that itemized list for you, but it has to be spent on teacher improvement and anything that has to do with student learning. Yes.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee.
I do have one question for Ms. Wright. With this grant being specifically for Block Middle School, would there be a collaboration with Block Middle School staff, principal, and their administrative team along with you when this is good in regards to how to add those programs that's needed for this grant and for us to see academic and achievement improvement?
Absolutely. They can't spend the money unless we approve it.
Okay.
We have to we have to approve it. We also will have buy-in on what the money is spent on. So absolutely.
So that I just want to be clear that it's a collaborative between administrative staff and administrative staff.
Oh,
at Block
absolutely.
Middle School.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Castro, call please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 8, approval of donations to the district superintendent, right?
Yes, I'm asking for approval of a company that's donating 50 wipe dispensers to the transportation department.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, move for approval.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Cash, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Next, we have item number 9, approval of use of Central High School parking lot mobile market food distribution.
Yes, Mobile Mark is a partner with the School City of East Chicago, and they're asking permission to distribute food at Central High School parking lot on March 8th from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. Food will be distributed on a first come, first served basis.
Are there any questions?
Madam President, just one question.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Real quick. And I know they've been in front of us before, so I'm assuming that they have their certificate of insurance. on file.
Absolutely.
Madam President.
I know, at point of order, yes, I know. Can we please have a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
I'll say.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds. Now you can ask your question. My apologies.
Okay. I think I got my questions answered, but I'll repeat it. They've done work with us before and they've collaborated with us before, so I'm pretty sure that the certificate of insurance is on file. Right?
Yes, yes.
Any other questions? I just, Ms. Wright, I think we discussed previously, I know it's not our duty to let the police officers or anyone know about traffic, but if we could just collaborate with them, because I don't want anyone saying that the school city is holding up traffic.
Yes, because it's quite a few cars that are located at these food giveaways. Yes.
And there's only one way in and one way out. It's just like a steady flow.
Yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Cash, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 10, approval of Central High School fundraiser.
Yes, the National Honor Society is requesting approval of the fundraiser for March Women Month.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion and Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any questions? Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
Trustee Williams,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Next, we have item number 11, approval of resolution 2021-03. And it was a joint resolution between SCEC and the AFT and AFT Local 511, sorry. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam President, I'll make a motion for approval.
Trustee Williams likes to make a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. And now we can go into the discussion portion. Trustee Gomez, I know you had a couple questions.
I do. At its core, I'm not opposed to the resolution. Actually, I don't even have it handy. There have been a couple of versions that have gone past the board. I think I made it clear my position. While I'm in favor of the resolution, I'm not in favor of the signature lines on it. I believe it's a good resolution to pass, but I think the board, 5 members that are voting on this is adequate to send a message downstate where we stand. And I think at the same time, it lets the teachers and the community know where the board stands. So I'm going to ask for a secondary motion to remove the last signature off this resolution. And to maintain the 5 board members only as signees to this document.
So currently we have a secondary motion to remove the teacher signature line or the AFT president signature line.
Right.
And is there a second?
I'll second. Just do that motion to that, but I'll second.
Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. Is there any discussion?
I mean, I just have one. I have one discussion on it. If I could just say that, it's not against any party that we are associated with or anything like that. I feel that we, as a governing body, are not parties to any stipulation or any ratification that we've done in the past to have any organization or institution join a resolution with the school city of Chicago. So I think the only concern that I have is that I feel that a resolution would be a lot stronger if it was from the school city of Chicago going downstate, and it'll definitely show that unity. So that's.
Any other discussion?
I disagree. I think that if that signature was to be a joint effort, I think that it would show solidarity and it would show teamwork and it show that our district is working together to trying to make this revolution pass. So I have to say that I'm gonna go with, I just feel that we need to come together as a community, and there's no really separation. It's basically just showing that we are strong as one in one district. And some districts did go along with it, some districts didn't. But I feel that we personally, being a member of this community, we're trying to get things right and trying to show transparency and trying to show solidarity. My opinion is I disagree with you.
I also, Trustee Williams, I also disagree with removing the teachers union from the resolution, and most importantly because I personally feel, one, that we're spending way too much time on this. This should have gone down there last meeting. Again, the state is taking our funding from us. And we are worried about titles. We're worried about the school board trustees. We're worried about the teachers. We're worried about who goes where. It's a title, a pointless struggle. Personally, the AFT has a strong union downstate. The ISBA has strong lobbyists. They have strong lobbyists, and the superintendents, I'm sure they have their lobbyists also. I think we add something where it said superintendent also be on board with this. We show a joint effort. I know Trustee Gomez, you stated that at one point, saying whereas the superintendent along with the school board and the AFT sent something down there. I also feel like because we've already asked the AFT, why would we now take that away from them? If we would have gone with the first resolution of stating that we're just going to send it down as a school board, it would have been different. We wouldn't have had this conversation. But at this point, it's like taking candy from a child. You take a lollipop from them, they're going to be pretty upset. I don't want to continue to have a fight with anyone. I want us to show that we're jointly working for the students, and that's it. So currently, we have a secondary motion on the floor to remove AFT signature. If anyone had any other discussion, Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
No.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
No. You understand the motion?
I'm sorry, no, no. I'm so sorry. I agree to have the teachers on the docket. I'm gonna say your voted. No? Not to remove it.
Motion fails. We're back to the original motion.
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez.
I'd like to add a motion to add the superintendent's signature to this resolution. Because again, we are a governing board, we're not a party to, we are a governing board, we're not a party to side with anyone, but having the superintendent's signature will show more strength in terms of downstate. So my motion, that's what my motion is.
Currently, we have a secondary motion on the floor to add a signatory line for our superintendent. Does he have a second?
A second.
Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Any discussion? And I think from Trustee Gomez's previous emails of adding, and maybe Trustee Gomez, you could remind me of how you asked to put the superintendent on there also throughout the resolution. And I think you stated where it says, whereas the school board,
so I can chime in on how we did the last resolution that was regarding prioritization of the teachers for purposes of getting vaccinations.
Mhm.
What the board agreed to was include references to the superintendent throughout to show her support, as opposed to having a signature, because the resolution obviously is the board resolution. There's not a problem with adding the superintendent's signature though, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other, but the way the last resolution was done, she was actually included in the body of the resolution itself to show that the board and superintendent, this board and superintendent that.
Mhm.
So that could be added to the resolution, to this resolution as well.
and I guess that's if she agrees to it.
Yes, I mean, I think it's worth having the discussion whether or not.
Ms.
Right.
Ms. Superintendent, how do you feel about adding the in where it as portions? It could be the superintendent as well as the school city of East Chicago. And then we probably have to go back to the motion. Trustee Rodriguez, if you would like to add that on there with the signatory line.
Yeah, and I say that because it'll make more sense if she's signing off on something that references her throughout the body of it. So I guess I'm adding what you're saying. In addition to just the signature, there probably should be references added that the board and superintendent feel this, and they feel that.
Totally agree. Yes. Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez, are you okay with that? Are there any other discussion?
Just one last, just more of a comment. Any resolutions, when it's distributed to board members is one thing, but as far as having a conversation to discuss it, that way we all have our input in terms of, or else we wouldn't be here today having to discuss it this way. I'd rather it be discussed prior to, so that we bring it to the floor. Hopefully it's basically having all our opinions and conversation.
So I 100% agree to that. I don't know how we do that though. It's hard to get everyone to just state opinions to each other. Like it's hard for us to all let each other know what kind of we would like or what can happen. Honestly, I thought we were having the work session. I think we were supposed to, or a meeting on the 25th, or a work session or executive session on the 24th, is what we originally stated. I thought we'd be able to talk about it then. So I do think that we need to find a way to have discussions, and probably in person or via Zoom, so this could actually get done prior to public meetings.
I have a thought on that, because I do understand the concern, and I think part of the issue with this is not really the substance of it, as Trustee Gomez said. It's just not very common for us to do joint resolutions, period. Yeah, I know since I've been here, I haven't seen it happen. The reason for this joint resolution is because it's really a lobbying effort. We're not legally bound by anything in adopting this resolution. It's simply to show unity and force downstate to show how important it is. But to address your concern about kind of discussing it with the board first, we have to be careful because we can have open door law violations of having discussions prior to a public meeting. So we really are limited in terms of our ability to do that. With this particular resolution, it actually was first the idea of the superintendent to do a joint resolution just based on some things that have been done around the state. And I think the superintendent isn't as limited as I am with the board in terms of having communication with all of you in advance of a meeting. So what we can do in the future is I'll make sure with the superintendent when an idea for a resolution comes up like that, I can make sure I draft it for her, let her have the discussions with the board members and have some level of comfortability before it's added to the agenda. I think that might be the solution to the problem.
Are there any other questions?
Madam President, I just want to make a comment on that. I believe the superintendent sent that out as a sample for us to consider, not to use language verbatim, taking out other school districts' names and replacing them with ours, and then adding a signature line for somebody that's not voting on this or not part of the school district administration, which we all are up here. So I think to say that superintendent recommended that in particular wouldn't be accurate.
Well, just for purposes of the record being clear, superintendent sent an email requesting for me to work on a joint resolution, and this joint resolution that's before you isn't from another district. It's something that was drafted. Parts of it are from other school districts, but not in its entirety. But nevertheless, the issue was a timing issue in order to get the resolution available to publish on board docs for the next meeting. Since that was sent out back on February 16th, the legislation that actually you would be opposing has continued to make its way through the House and has since been passed. Now it's in the Senate, has been referred to committee, and will become law while we, debate what we're going to do or what form this is going to be in. It'll be law and won't matter anyway if we don't take some kind of action. So that's the reason it got done quickly as opposed to there being more to wait.
And Trustee Gomez, I know you stated that it wasn't the recommendation of superintendent. I mean, I'm not going to ask superintendent if she's here. I do know that there was 2 resolutions that were sent to Attorney Harris, and he did state that he took language from both resolutions, one being with the signatory line with the AFT, one being without. And actually the one from that was given from Portage High School from that sent to the superintendent. That's actually what the ISBA had put on their information. I don't know if you have ever seen your emails yet, but it was on there.
Madam President, I'm sorry. We have this meeting been very, very long, but for whatever reason, we're still here. It's 2 resolutions that's on the table that we have to vote on. So are we there yet? I know Trustee Rodriguez just opposed another resolution by adding the superintendent.
So
we have to vote that as well as vote on the resolution. So can we
sure
get that process going, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
On the floor, we have a resolution to amend, a secondary resolution to add the signatory line of the superintendent as well as adding the superintendent to the resolution along with the school board in the whereas portion jointly. We have a motion and we have a second and no other discussion. Ms. Cass, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange?
Yes. Now we go back to the original motion. It'll be a motion with the amendment. So it'll be a motion for approval of resolution 2021-02 joint resolution between SDEC, AFT Local 511 with the amendments, adding all the superintendent, the signatory line along with the body of the resolution. And we already have a first and second to that, correct? So are there any further discussions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez.
I want to go back to the procedure of this whole thing. I think since you got on the school board, one of the issues I think you heard me say repeatedly was the process. That was years ago. It still holds today. Procedurally, I'm not happy with the way this turned out. I agree with Trustee Rodriguez that when the board attorney writes anything on behalf of the board, something that we're reviewing, that we should have input in that. And before it reaches a third party, that ought to be cleared by the board first. I am not happy with the process. So I'm going to be voting no on this based on the process.
Any other questions? Ms. Cash, roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez,
Yes.
trustee Gomez,
No.
trustee Williams,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez On.
Yes. Next, we move to superintendent's remarks.
Yes, I would like to send a big shout out to Katrina Alexander and Dee Murphy on their School City of East Chicago virtual Black History program. If you all haven't seen that, go to the district website. It's about 19 minutes long. It's quite enjoyable. I know they spent a lot of their time to develop this program, so I would like to send a big shout out to Katrina Alexander and Dee Murphy. Also, I'm going to send a big good luck to our boys basketball team as sectionals begin Wednesday at Gary Westside. So big shout out to our boys basketball team on their endeavors.
Next, we move to trustee remarks. Are there any trustee remarks? I do have one, and I kind of addressed it earlier in regards to transparency. I know we have been asked multiple times in regards to transparency. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things that we have done. The past 2-3 years, we approved a calendar for public meetings. I know we have yet to do that the calendar dates, but we did as a board agree to having our meetings at the first Monday and third Wednesday of the month as it works with all of our schedules. We have also made sure that we have our meetings live streamed since we were shut down. And we continue to do so. The governor stated that we're able to continue to do Zoom until March 31st. And if we need to, we'll continue to do so. We understand that some people are sickly and might not be able to come. Also, just for the space here in our boardroom. And finally, to reach out to more people, we are finally having our school board meetings on EC TV Channel 21. Our technology department has worked with the multimedia, and all of our meetings, the data that they record now gets sent to them, and if you could receive it on your television. So is there any reason why you don't know what's going on with the School City of East Chicago? Just because you kind of don't want to know, because it is on TV at homes, it's on the YouTube, it's on the Zoom. You can go to our website and click on it, and you'll see all of our meetings. So they are readily available for anyone and everyone. It has been already. Any other trustee remarks? Next, we'll move to public forum.
When you step to the podium, if you could please state your name and address. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. If you could please refrain from discussing any personnel matters. Please be respectful to the board members, superintendent, and staff. Thank you.
Do we have anyone on Zoom speaking? I know they didn't bring anybody out, but I'll take care of the ones that speak first. Up first will be Mrs. Linda Randolph.
Randolph, you actually come right here, because I don't know if you want your face to be seen, or we can't.
It's old face, I don't know. Stand where?
Oh, right here, just in front.
Well, I wrote down my thoughts so that in my 3 minutes, I get everything through. In all situations, we must find joy and give thanks. So thank you, EC Board, for what you're doing for children. Thank you for passing the Return to Learn plan. Thank you, Ms. Wright and your team. Thank you, principals and directors. I saw Ms. Cole working so hard with the special ed student return. Thank you. Thank you for presenting a very manageable option. Great presentation, Ms. Good, very efficient. Thank you to the team that worked on it. Teachers, please know that you are essential workers. You are just as important as doctors, nurses, technicians, and all others that help with the healing of the body. Educators are essential to the intellectual, social, and emotional growth of our students in East Chicago. You mold and heal their academic deficiencies and help them to soar. Teachers, you are essential. Thank you in advance for your return and your dedication. I am concerned about the achievement gap that is getting wider and wider. We had issues before COVID, and now they have magnified. We have not done enough to meet the needs of our students. You did a good job of providing for their virtual needs. They waited to get a device, you got them. They needed to get hotspots, you got them. They wait at home now for someone to help them, and we can't control that. They wait, they wait, they wait. Thank you for preparing to serve them in the schools. Public schools complain about losing money to private schools and charter schools, but guess what? A lot of them have been in session, at least on a hybrid level. So, a little bit ahead of the game. You have 48% of your parents wanting their children to return. Please don't let them wait much longer. I appreciate your efforts. I look forward to all of them coming back that want to come back. As with all things that are done decently and in order, you must have a plan. You approve the plan. You made the plan, you gotta work the plan, and guess what? It's important to monitor the plan. Any of you guys that know me know that since I retired in 2007, I keep telling you, inspect what you expect to happen. What does that look like? Well, district administrators, you know, you need to monitor bus pickup, monitor what's happening in the building. Principals, you monitor teachers and students. Teachers, you need to closely monitor the students. Parents and community members need to do what they need to do. Monitor. Everybody, monitor. The gap between the haves and have-nots is getting wider. Ms. Good's data showed that to you tonight regarding attendance and regarding failing grades. Our students will take the achievement test, by the way, and they'll take those tests against students who have been in school more and all of that. Thank you so much. We must do more for our children. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? Thank you.
Up next will be the White Mosley.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent, Madam Chairman, and trustees. My name, of course, as you just said, is White Mosley, and I'm a former teacher in the system. I had a concern, and was kind of magnified today, when Ms. Good pointed out that the number of Fs in certain grades. I did a mental calculation, and it's between 2.5 times to almost 9 times increase in the number of failing grades. I read in the Hammett Times, or whatever they call it now, that in East Chicago, the number of students failing math is just alarming. And I've taught in about 7 school districts, New York, Chicago, and Minneapolis, and of course, East Chicago. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've seen in other districts that might work in East Chicago. One is computer-assisted math. Now, when I taught in the system, I tried to alert all the teachers that there's a program called IXL.com. Now, this program is a math tutorial from preschool all the way up to calculus. I would suggest or ask that all of you, the board and the parents, community as well, go online, go on IXL.com. Anybody can use their program free for 1 hour. So if you got a child, you can use it 1 hour free that day, 1 hour free the next day. Now, if you want to buy it for the semester, it's only $99. Now, when I tried to promote it in the school system here, I found a couple of teachers that were really on board. One, Miss Bella Carey Goss, she's going to purchase it for a class. And the cost is based on how many teachers and the number of students. So for one class, 30 students, about $99 to $190 a year. Okay. And the improvement in her class was so phenomenal that she wanted to expand the program. Now I have a former student here whom I'm very proud of, current principal of Central High School, Ms. Dave Brown. Now Abe tells me that his daughter is using that program at another school. And I can't understand why East Chicago can't use it. Because my experience with math education is cumulative process. If you can't add, you can't subtract. If you can't multiply, you won't be able to divide. You can't multiply, you can't do percentages. You can't multiply, you can't do decimals. You can't multiply, you can't do algebraic equations. Now, I'm getting the impression that a lot of our students are just going on and on and on, being passed on when they don't have the requisite skills to go to the next level. We're setting them up for failure. There's no other way to say it. We're setting them up for failure. And I think we're remiss, you as a board, we as a community, we as parents, if we don't do more. There's no reason why our school should be in the bottom 5.
So, Mr. Mosley, but that's your time, sir.
Oh, okay, well, thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
I just want to let you know that we do have IXL. We have a contract for IXL here in the district.
I'm telling you, it's being used. That's my question.
Well,
and if it is, why are so many students failing?
Up next will be Helen Steinbeck.
I'm good, I want to make my comment public.
All right. And last, Kenny Monroe. He's not here. That will be all, Madam President.
Thank you. Next, time and date for our next meeting will be March 17th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and it'll be here in the boardroom or be live streamed. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Madam President, make a motion.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for adjournment.
Second that motion.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Ms. Castro, call please.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez?